Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are looking at something completely fascinating from our source material. We're going to explore one of the absolute most fundamental forces in all of astrology, the moon. We'll be exploring how this glowing celestial sphere hovering right above us does so much more than just, well, light up the night sky. In fact, according to astrological traditions, it literally dictates our physical reality. It sets the rhythm for our life cycles, and it acts as this ultimate cosmic anchor. So I want to start by just asking you a question. What actually dictates your deepest instincts? Like when you're super stressed, when you're overwhelmed, or when you feel instantly at peace? What is driving those automatic responses? I mean, so many of us know our basic sun sign, right? We might read a daily horoscope and kind of think we have our whole astrological profile figured out. But the source material we're looking at today argues that your deepest, most instinctual self is driven by something far more profound. It's driven by the moon. Okay. Let's dive right into this. Here is a quick roadmap of our journey today. 1. Our cosmic anchor. 2. Emotion, instinct, and mother. 3. The lunation cycle. And 4. Storyteller of the soul. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, our cosmic anchor, grounding the physical reality. Before we even get into things like emotions or personality, we really have to establish the sheer astronomical reality of the moon, because honestly, this is the very foundation of our earthly experience. 28 days, the moon is the absolute fastest moving celestial body in our system. It actually completes a journey through the entire zodiac in just 28 days. Because of this incredibly rapid movement, I want you to think of the moon as the highly active minute hand of a giant cosmic clock. While the sun marks the long, sweeping seasons and the years, the moon, it governs the days and the months. It provides the essential, fast-paced structure for our everyday lives. And this brilliantly illustrates the classic mind-body distinction in astrology. The sun represents the spirit and the intellect. It emits light and energy outward. But the moon represents the physical body itself. It is the vessel. It actually collects and receives that energy. In the ancient geocentric system, the moon was seen as the final sphere a soul had to pass through before entering the physical world. So it literally anchors the spirit into a physical body. And because it's our closest cosmic neighbor, that physical anchor has highly tangible effects. Just as the moon exerts a real, measurable scientific pull on Earth's ocean tides, astrology holds that it pulls on our physical systems too. It influences our digestion, our energy levels, and even our sleep cycles. In traditional astrology, the moon actually rules the stomach and the breasts, organs that are fundamentally linked to gathering, receiving, and providing nourishment. It brings these lofty conceptual goals right down into our physical, everyday reality. Moving right along to Section 2, emotion, instinct, and mother. Diving into the inner world. Okay, so now that we've grounded ourselves in the physical body, let's sort of slow down and dive into our inner world. Modern astrology focuses really heavily on the moon as the main indicator of our emotional needs. It relates deeply to the anima. Now, this is your feeling nature. It's that part of you that just senses and intuits what's going on around you, rather than trying to, reason through it using logic. If the sun is your logical, reasoning mind, the moon is your raw, unfiltered intuition. Furthermore, the moon represents the mother, and this can definitely mean your biological mother, but it also encompasses literally anyone who performs the role of the caregiver in your life. The moon represents our early childhood conditioning, those deep imprints left upon us while we were in the womb, and it essentially acts as this massive cosmic storehouse of genetic memory. It tells the story of our upbringing and our foundational sense of security in the world. There is a quote from the source material that I absolutely love. The moon governs our automatic responses, those things we do without thinking. I want you to really think about that for a second. What are your automatic responses? When you are just running on autopilot, what do you reach for? What environments make you feel safest and most at home? That habitual nature, that ultimate comfort zone, yeah, that is your moon at work, for sure. All right, on to Section 3, the lunation cycle, the rhythms of time. So, exploring the moon isn't just about what sign it's in. Its specific phase at your exact moment of birth is absolutely key. Let's walk through these 4 distinct birth phases sequentially. So, if you were born under a new moon, your character often carries this real sense of innocence. You're eager for beginnings and planting new seeds in the world. Now, if you're a first quarter birth, your life might feel a bit like a crisis in action, where you're constantly pushing through struggles to achieve these big breakthroughs. Born under a full moon, well, that correlates to a life of public prominence and reaching moments of peak glory. And finally, the waning phase represents a time of deep integration, reflection, and sort of processing all the experiences you've gathered over a lifetime.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that these phases aren't just for reading birth charts, they are highly practical tools for timing everyday events. Like new moons are the absolute ideal time to plant your intentions. Full moons are the time for manifestation and bringing things to fruition. And eclipses, oh man, those are the heavy hitters. When a new or full moon happens near the lunar nodes, they act as these powerful pivot points that can bring sudden disruptions, major endings, or just massive new beginnings.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, Storyteller of the Soul, the Individual Narrative. At this final micro level of our journey, we're looking at how the moon acts as a cosmic oracle, creating an entirely unique individual narrative for every single person. You've probably heard of a moon sign before, right? Well, this is the exact zodiac sign the moon was traveling through at the very moment you were born. And it basically dictates the flavor of how you collect your human experiences. Because the moon moves so incredibly fast, changing signs roughly every 2 to 2.5 days, your moon sign is highly specific. It separates your unique personal story from the much broader generation of people who happen to share your sun sign. It makes your chart uniquely yours. So, the crucial point is, how does this actually play out for you? Well, it depends on when you were born. The source text outlines this ancient concept called the doctrine of sect. Basically, the celestial bodies are divided into day and night teams. If you have a nocturnal chart, meaning, you were born at night, the moon is the ruler and the sect light of your team. For night births, the moon provides your soul, and its condition in your chart might actually feel far more prominent, powerful, and accessible to you than your sun sign ever will. Actually, the source material points out a pretty fascinating irony here. Astronomically speaking, the moon is just a natural satellite of Earth, right? It's literally not a planet. But in traditional astrology, she gets a VIP planetary pass. Because of its immense influence over human behavior, our physical bodies, and our life events, astrology basically elevates this satellite to the status of a major planetary body, making it totally equal to the sun in the big three of your identity. So, ultimately, the moon acts as this cosmic oracle. I mean, think about it. In ancient times, people gathered around fires at night to tell stories under the moonlight. Similarly, the moon in your astrology chart tells your story. It weaves together this beautifully cohesive narrative of who you were before you arrived in this physical world, who you are right now in your emotional center, and the physical destiny you are actively cultivating day by day. It's constantly working to anchor your spiritual purpose deeply into your material reality. Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. What story is your moon telling? Honestly, if you've only ever paid attention to your sun sign, you are literally only getting half the picture. I highly encourage you to investigate your own birth chart, find your moon sign and its phase, and really start listening to the mind that lives inside your body. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this fascinating cosmic anchor, and I truly hope you leave today with a much deeper understanding of your own inner world.